morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss topic in immunology, immunodeficiency disorder. All these days we discussed about the how immune system get activated, what are the steps involved in immune activation, the different cells involved in it, organs involved in it, all those things we discussed. Now here we are going to see, here after all the chapters are like this only, this is one chapter wherein we will be discussing about immunodeficiency. Another one is overactivation of the immune system, which we are going to discuss, that is called as the hypersensitivity. One more topic is autoimmune disorder, wherein the proteins which are there in the body, that is going to be identified by the immune system. All these things are various diseases, we can say, associated with the immune system. So we are starting with that particular chapter now. First chapter what we are going to discuss is immunodeficiency disorder. It's a very interesting topic. Okay. So immunodeficiency means because of some reason your immune system is completely defective. There is an immunodeficiency. So the definition, exact definition for immunodeficiency is any deficiency that results in defect in phagocytosis, humoral and cell-mediated immune response. You know that for the activation of immune system there is a need for identification of the antigen. Then the antigen has to undergo phagocytosis. If it is an external pathogenic substance, it has to undergo phagocytosis, and once after undergoing phagocytosis, antigen processing. Phagocytosis is nothing but antigen processing, then it undergoes presentation. Once after presentation, those peptides will be identified by the T helper cells. T helper cells will activate the B cell, and B cell will start producing the antibody. That is in the case of humoral immune response. Cell mediated immune response, we have taken the example of viral infection. Viral genome integrates with the host genome, viral protein synthesis, and those viral protein will enter into the proteasome complex, undergoes degradation, and then the degraded peptide bind with the class 1 MHC molecule. Presentation happens, and which will be identified by the T cytotoxic cell. So overall, when you say immunodeficiency is any deficiency that results in defect in phagocytosis, humoral immunity and cell-mediated immune response that lead to immunodeficiency. Immunodeficiency is classified into two. Okay, we can classify the immunodeficiency disorder into two. One is known as primary immunodeficiency disorder, which is also called as congenital immunodeficiency disorder. That is because of the defect in the genes. Okay, so it's a genetical disorder wherein sometimes the macrophages will not be functioning properly. Sometimes the WBCs, especially the lymphocyte formation, won't be happening. All those things, all those diseases are categorized under primary immunodeficiency disorder. And the second one is known as the secondary immunodeficiency disorder, that is during the lifespan because of some infection or because of some external agents. Okay, so the definition for secondary immunodeficiency disorder is immunodeficiency due to extrinsic factors. Primary immunodeficiency is because of intrinsic factor, that is because of some genetic defect, whereas secondary immunodeficiency disorder, that is due to extrinsic factor. The major one, immunodeficiency can happen because of infection. Second one is because of some surgery. After the surgery, immune system will be very weak. Then chemotherapy, because of chemotherapy, yes, all the cells will be undergoing death, thereby your immune system will be weak. And one of the major causes is malnutrition. If you are not having a nutritious food, your immune system will be very weak. Okay, so these are the various reasons or various extrinsic factors which will lead to the immunodeficiency disorder. But here under this particular chapter, we are going to discuss about the immunodeficiency disorder that is caused by the infection. Okay, and today in one or two classes or more than two classes, we'll be discussing about the secondary immunodeficiency disorder, AIDS. Okay, because I have taken first the secondary immunodeficiency disorder because it's very interesting. Okay, so we'll start with the AIDS, and after finishing with the AIDS, we'll move on to the primary immunodeficiency disorder, wherein we'll discuss about some 4 to 5 different diseases which you can write under the primary immunodeficiency disorder. So it's a very important topic in immunology. What happens when you don't have a proper immune system? That is what we are going to see. When you don't have a proper immune system, what do you mean by that? Whenever there is a defect in the immune system. Okay, when the immune cells are not properly activated or properly formed, that can lead to immunodeficiency disorder. Okay, so immunodeficiency The secondary immunodeficiencies are acquired immunodeficiency disorder. So all the secondary immunodeficiency disorders are called as acquired. What do you mean by acquired? During the lifespan, because of some extrinsic factor, you are getting affected by a problem which is called as the immunodeficiency disorder. So the first one what we are going to discuss today is AIDS. All of you know what is AIDS. What is the full form of AIDS? Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or immunodeficiency disease, or immunodeficiency syndrome. Now why, as I told you, it is an acquired one. So during the lifespan, when people get HIV infection, they will be, if HIV during the preliminary stage, HIV infection is like any other viral infection. When it is not treated, or during the, there are three major stages are there, which we'll be discussing in the coming classes. And when it moves from one stage to the another stage, finally it will become AIDS. Okay, so you cannot call the preliminary stage of HIV infection as AIDS. As time passes, or as it passes through the different stages, it enters into a last stage called as the AIDS. Okay, so when acquired immunodeficiency syndrome is there, people cannot survive for a longer time because their immune system is completely suppressed. They'll be prone to all the other infection. People don't, this you have to remember, people don't die because of HIV infection, they die because of the opportunistic infection. What do you mean by opportunistic infection? When your immune system is very low, all the other external agents like bacteria, viruses, fungus, protozoa, and all those organisms try to infect your system, and because of that infection, your immune system will be completely weakened. Okay, so that is called as opportunistic infection. The viruses and bacteria or the pathogens are waiting for an opportunity. They are getting an opportunity because of some infection. That is your HIV infection. HIV is human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, human immunodeficiency virus infection that lead to AIDS. Okay, now first we'll see the function, the structure of the HIV virus. Okay, so how it is caused and all those things you know, and in the coming classes I will be discussing about the how the person will get infected with the HIV, and you know more than me, you know how the HIV transmission takes place. First we will see the structure of human immunodeficiency virus. Human immunodeficiency virus is it's a beautiful virus, isn't it? You just look at the structure of the virus, or you just take Google image and see how beautiful the virus is. Okay, like a globular one with so many different types of spikes and a completely decorated virus it is. Very beautiful one. Same time they are very, very dangerous also. Okay, now when you see the structure of HIV, it's a very interesting structure, and the HIV virus, it has like any other virus, it has the glycoprotein projections. All the viruses, it has the glycoprotein projections on the surface. So this also has a glycoprotein projection. The glycoprotein projections which are there on the outermost cover, it is glycoprotein 41 and glycoprotein 120. Glycoprotein 120 is the blue color one. Okay, it is there in the outermost area, and one transmembrane protein is there. That transmembrane protein is the glycoprotein 41. Always remember that glycoprotein 41 is the transmembrane one, and glycoprotein 120 is just, it will bind to the glycoprotein 41. So this is the outermost layer of the HIV virus. So it has a two glycoproteins are there, which is the transmembrane one, glycoprotein 41, and the one more glycoprotein is associated with the glycoprotein 41. They are not transmembrane. Those proteins are the glycoprotein 120. Clear? Now, this glycoprotein 120 and glycoprotein 41, they will act as the binding site, or this is the glycoprotein, or this is the region of the virus which will be binding to a cell which is there in the human body. Fine. So this virus will be binding to a particular cell which is there in the human body. That binding site is the glycoprotein which is there on the outermost surface. What is that? Glycoprotein 41 and glycoprotein 120. I have written here glycoprotein 120 with glycoprotein 41 act as binding region for CD4 of the T cell, T helper cell, and it can also infect macrophages, because macrophages also possess CD4. So there are two types of HAV. One is known as M-tropic, meaning the HAV which has affinity for macrophages. Another one is known as the T-tropic. That means HAV which has affinity for the T helper cells. Clear? So HAV viruses are of two types. One is known as M-tropic. Another one is known as the T-tropic. T-tropic has affinity for T helper cell, whereas M-tropic it has affinity for the macrophages. That's all about the outermost cover of the HAV. Now when you see the interior part of the HAV, you can see that just inside this outermost envelope, you can see that it has two layers of protein cover. Okay, so those protein covers are known as the nuclear core. Okay, the nucleic acid is covered with a nuclear core, or nucleic acid is protected with a protein layer, two layers of protein. Okay, that is what I have mentioned here. One in red, another one is in blue. The red one is known as the P17. P stands for protein 17, and the blue one, that is the P24. So within the envelope there is a nuclear core. Nuclear core consists of two proteins. One is P24, another one is the P17. And within the nuclear core, it has two single-stranded RNA. Very important point, highlight the point. The human immunodeficiency virus, it has within the nuclear core, it has two copies of single-stranded RNA. Now, the speciality of this virus is the single-stranded RNA which is there within the nuclear core of the HIV genome. It is associated with four enzymes. Okay, two copies of reverse transcriptase, both on each RNA strand. Okay, both are there on each RNA strand, and along with that, two more enzymes are there. One is protease enzyme, another one is the integrase enzyme. So the viral integration is with the help of integrase enzyme, and during the assembly and release, a protease enzyme will help. That enzyme is also there in the virus. So it is carrying everything. So most of the viruses will take over, or it will utilize the enzymes which are there in the host. But HIV is nothing like that. They are not doing like that. They have all the machinery for the survival and maintenance, because they are carrying its own enzyme and moving. And once after reaching there, they will utilize their own enzyme, integrate, and then replication happens, and then it will be releasing out of the cell with the help of this protease enzyme which is there in the virus itself. Okay, so this is the structure of HIV. So important aspect is this is a retrovirus. The genome is diploid, plus two positive strands are there, positive or sense RNA strands are there, two copies. Genome is highly complex, and because highly complex means it has two copies of RNA genome which is associated with four different types of enzyme, or you can say three different types of enzyme. Two copies of reverse transcriptase which is P protein 64, one copy of protease that is protein 10, and one copy of integrase that is protein 32. Clear? Now I'll tell you once again whatever points I have written here. It has 72 glycoprotein projections. How many glycoprotein projections are there on the surface? 72 glycoprotein projections are there, composed of two proteins. One is GP120, another one is GP41. GP41 is a transmembrane molecule that crosses the lipid bilayer. GP120 associate with GP41 and serve as the viral binding or the viral receptor for the CD4. And within the envelope, it has a nuclear core composed of two proteins. One is P24 and another one is P17. And within the nuclear core, it has two copies of single-stranded RNA which are associated with three different enzymes, two copies of reverse transcriptase, one copy of protease, and one copy of the integrase enzyme. So that's all about the structure of human immunodeficiency virus. Now we are moving on to the genetic organization of HIV. How exactly the genome of the human immunodeficiency virus is organized. Okay, this is the structure which I will click a photo of this one and send it to you so that you can make the diagram easily. And if you see, it has a LTRs are there on both the sides, long terminal repeats, and three major genes are there. Like any other retrovirus, three major genes are there. One is GAG, another one is POL, and the third one is the envelope. Okay, so GAG, POL, and envelope. You can see that all these the small blocks, black colored blocks which I have made here, these are all overlapping genes which are there. So overlapping genes, usually it will be indicated in this way. You cannot just make a line and draw the things. You have to, in the diagrammatic representation itself, you should understand that it is overlapping genes. Okay, so GAG is overlapped with the pole, and in between the pole and the envelope there are many genes. One is VIF, another one is STAT, VPU, VPR and REV. Okay, and after envelope gene there is another one TAT, and again one more REV and NEF, that is followed by the LDR. Okay, these are the genes. Total size is 9,749 nucleotides are there in the HIV genome. Major 3 genes are there, GAG, pole and envelope, and along with that it has another set of genes. One is TAT. TAT stands for Trans-Activator of Transcription. REV stands for Regulator of Virions. VIF stands for Virion Infectivity Factor. VPU stands for Viral Protein U. And VPR is Viral Protein R. So these are the different genes which are located in the genome of the HIV virus. GAG, pole and envelope, and that is followed by TAT, REV, VIF, VPU and VPR. TAT is Trans-Activator of Transcription. REV is Regulator of Virion. VIF is Viral Infectivity Protein. VPU is Viral Protein U. And VPR is Viral Protein R. Fine. Now, what are the different proteins which will express from the GAG gene? As I told you, GAG, pole and envelope, these are the major genes. GAG gene, okay, the GAG gene which is here, that will express and produces 4 different proteins. 2 of them are major protein, another 2 are accessory protein. The major proteins are P17 and P24. Whereas where is that P17 and 24 is there? These 2. P24 is the inner one and P17 is the outer one. So P17 is the outer core, the red color one, and P24 is the inner core. So GAG gene expresses and produces the protein that makes the inner core and the outer core of the HIV virus, and along with that it produces 2 more protein. One is P9, another one is the P7. Both are accessory proteins. Next one is pole. Pole, it produces pole meaning a polymerase, that is the one which will be coding for the enzyme. 4 different types of proteins are expressed from the pole. One is P64, another one is P51. Both codes for the integrase. Both codes for the reverse transcriptase, RTase. P64 and P51, that codes for reverse transcriptase, and you know that there are 2 copies. So thereby P64 and P51 both codes for reverse transcriptase enzyme. P10 that codes for protease enzyme, and P32 that codes for the integrase enzyme. So 4 different proteins are there: P64, P51, P10 and the P32. P64 and P51 codes for reverse transcriptase, which is there with the RNA copies. P10 is the protease and P32 is the integrase. Next one is envelope. Envelope, as you know, that envelope proteins are the one which will be responsible for the envelope protein, and you know that 2 envelope proteins are there. One is glycoprotein 41, which is a transmembrane protein. Another one is GP120, which is responsible for binding with the CD4 receptor, which is there on the macrophages and on the T helper cells. Next one is STAT. What is STAT? Trans-Activator of Transcription. That gene, TAT, where is TAT? Here you can see one TAT, and here also one TAT is there. TAT gene will express and produces a protein called as P40 that will activate the transcription process. So once after the integration of the viral genome, it will form the cDNA. I will be teaching you the replication cycle in the coming classes. The viral RNA, once after entering into the host, reverse transcriptase enzyme will be utilized and it forms the cDNA. And once the cDNA is formed, cDNA integrates with the host genome, and after the integration, the transcription, when the genome expression happens, viral genome expression happens, during that time the TAT protein, the TAT gene expression happens, and it produces a protein called as P14 that will activate the transcription of the viral genome. The integrated viral genome undergoes transcription with the help of the P40. Next is REF. Gene expresses and produces a protein called as REV is here. Here and here it is there. That will produce a protein called as P19 that will export unspliced RNA. What is the need of exporting unspliced? You know that in the genome, in the nucleus, the transcription happens, and once after the transcription, half of the RNA comes out without undergoing any splicing, nothing, it comes out. Another set of RNA, it will undergo splicing, and that will be entering into the cytoplasm as mRNA, and then it binds with the ribosome and protein synthesis happens. Whatever RNA which has not undergone splicing mechanism and which has come out of the nucleus, that will act as the genome of the virus, which I will be discussing in the next class. So the genome of the virus is from the unspliced RNA which comes out of the nucleus. Okay, the unspliced RNA comes out of the nucleus with the help of this particular protein. What is that protein? P19, which is expressed from the RUF. What is RUF? Regulator of virion. Regulator of virion. That is the gene which is there in the genome that expresses and produces a protein called as P19 that helps in the export of the unspliced RNA. Next one is NEF. NEF protein, okay, nuclear factor protein F, okay, that gene will express and produces a protein called as the, what is that, NEF, okay, produces a protein called as the P27, okay, NEF gene that will undergo gene expression and produces a protein called as the P27. What is the function of the P27? P27 is the one which will help in the down regulation of the host. What do you mean by down regulation? Completely the immune system is regulated or under suppressed. Immune system is suppressed with the help of this P27, which is expressed from the viral genome. We can see NEF is here. And that is followed by VPU gene, which is there in the genome. Here you can see VPU will express and produces P16 that will help in the viral assembly. So once after the replication cycle and then protein synthesis and all, the viral assembly happens. So all these proteins will assemble and it will it will take up this RNA genome and the complete viral particles will be formed. That assembly is mediated by the P16. Next one is VIF. VIF stands for virion infectivity factor. That gene expresses and produces P23 that will help in the maturation of the virus. And the VPR is viral protein R, that gene expresses and produces P15 which will inhibit the cell division. Okay, cell division inhibition is mediated by the P15. Okay, these are the different genes which are there in the HIV genome. If you look into the diagram, we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 3. 3 major genes plus 6 extra or accessory genes are there which are needed for the complete life cycle of the HIV virus to happen within the host. Okay, the total size is 9749 GAG, pod and envelope, that is followed by TAT, REV, VIF, VPU, VPR and the NEF. Okay, now the GAG produces outer core and inner core protein, POL all the enzymes, envelope protein produces the glycoprotein, TAT activate transcription, REV export unspliced RNA, NEF downregulate the host, VPU viral assembly, VIF helps in maturation and VPR helps or it will inhibit the cell division. Okay, so that's all about the virus structure and the genome of the virus. In the coming classes, we will be discussing about the viral replication, how it happens and what are the symptoms of AIDS, how the AIDS disease will be transmitted from one person to the other person, and also we will be discussing about the treatment which are used for the HIV infection, symptoms, treatment, all those things we will be discussing in the coming classes. Okay, so please go through this topic. It's a very important topic. Please go through, and if any doubts are there, you can clarify. Thank you.